The bee is the one that goes to all the flowers. So the murid in tariqah is the one that tastes from all the flowers, bitter and sweet. So don't say, oh, why is my life always bitter? Well, now you have to taste from the bitter flowers. And then you taste from the sweet flowers. And then you collect all of that and make a nectar, a sweet nectar. To give to who? To people. So a sheikh, a Sufi sheikh, not only a Sufi, a sheikh, a Muslim, somebody in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do? They suffer. So they feel the bitterness of life, and then they are at ease and they feel the sweetness of life, and then they combine it together and give to us a taste. That is the sheikh. He gives you the honey that he has produced from his experience, learning, seclusions, sufferings, and we get it on a silver plate. And when we say, oh Sheikh, I don't like this. Nowadays, they don't eat any honey. I know some people don't eat any honey. It has to be raw, unfiltered, organic, and special flowers. Now people say, no, we don't want any honey. We want only specific honey. So people choose which teachings they want to take from sheikhs. I don't like that teaching. I like this one. But you cannot. Honey, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ. In it is cure for people. So any honey, in it is cure, whether it's not that good to your taste, or if it's very good. You have to take it from the sheikh. So the job of the sheikh is to give you the honey of his experience, his suffering, his worship, his ibadah. And that's how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. Quran is that honey. The experience of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the worship of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the suffering that he had to go through, the love that he found, the harm or hurt he found from others, all his experience is summarized in Quran Kareem. So Quran Kareem is words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also it is the state of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has lived through all of that. That's the honey. That is the shifa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us taste from the shifa of Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about Quran, shifa. That is shifa. Allahumma arzuqna al-adab. Oh our Lord, give us adab. We continue with what Mawlana Shaykh Nazim inshallah has said. We tell some stories. From the stories though, we have to find the wisdom. So inshallah we can find some wisdom from here. So Mawlana Shaykh Nazim starts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala aqama al-ibad fima arad. He has put human beings as He wanted them. Aqama al-ibad. He has established servants kama arad, according to His will. And we started in the beginning that some people go to the gatherings of badness and some people go to the gathering of goodness for a wisdom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And he said, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, he said, every now and then, a follower of Iblis, a follower of Shaitan, of demon, a demon himself or a demon herself, calls people for a gathering. Nowadays you see these stars or these people that are known to practice satanic rituals, demonic rituals. They're all over. I don't have to explain. People can find out on their own. But they gather people for what? To deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually in their rituals they worship Satan. They deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they bring whatever the gods that they believe in and they worship Satan. So Grand Sheikh is saying, يَخْرُجُ رَجُلٌ مِنْ أَتْبَاعِ إِبْلِيسِ. A man from the followers of Satan comes out and he spreads fitna among people. He spreads confusion among people. So every now and then you will find this one, a bad one, man and woman, both of them. can be man, can be woman, that they follow Satan. They worship Satan, the demon, and they come out among people to spread confusion and to deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to deny the Lord, to deny God. So one of these demonic representatives came out one day and started asking people to deny the existence of God. It was in the time of Imam Shafi'i, as Mawlana Shaykh Nazim is narrating, and this is volume 3, page 262. These Suhbas are in other books. It's not only in this book. This is only Arabic book because it's easier for me to read, and my father said, take this one. But all the books that we have downstairs, you can find similar stories from Mawlana Shaykh Nazim. Not only downstairs, around the world. Any book that has Mawlana Shaykh Nazim's teachings in there has the same material, which is guidance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So some people, they say, oh, we want only this book. No, not only this book, it's in other books. So please read Mawlana Shaykh Nazim's books, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham's books, ulama's books. So this guy, this person that follows Iblis, worships Iblis, comes out one day in the time of Imam al-Shafi'i. وَكَانَ مُنْكِرًا وُجُودِ الْبَارِ. He was munkir. He was denying the existence of Al-Bari, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that has created and spread on earth humankind. So he was denying the existence of God. And it was at the time of Harun al-Rashid, who was the Sultan at that time. Harun al-Rashid heard about this man spreading his confusion among people, and he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a dua. He was hurt, and he was asking, the Sultan was hurt, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh my Lord, help me, send me somebody that will lift this confusion from earth. This confusion came to Egypt, Grand Sheikh is saying, and he started to spread his fitna, his confusion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not exist. So the Sultan sent to Egypt, sent to the people of Egypt that you have to get somebody to debate him. And the Sultan chose Imam al-Shafi'i, and he was 9 years of age. He said, this man was wanting to debate. The Sultan said, send him, Imam al-Shafi'i, a boy, a 9-year-old. So, people gathered in the big mosque. They all gathered. The believer, the Christian, the Jewish, the atheist, from all kinds, all religions. All of them gathered in that masjid. And then Imam al-Shafi'i came between the lines, and this man was waiting to debate him. Mawlana Shaykh is saying, أَتَى ذَاكَ الصَّغِيرُ بِعَمَامَتِهِ الصَّغِيرَةِ. That little one came with his little turban. This man was thinking that this boy is the son of the sheikh that will debate him. This one comes like this Zach has done to me. He says, he asked me a question. This boy came, stood in front of the man, and he said, what did he say? Let me see. Oh, he stood in front of the man. The man was surprised. He told him, where is the sheikh that will debate me? So the boy said, I am the one that came to debate you. A little boy with a small amam, a small turban. He said, Imam Shafi'i, he said, my masters, my noble masters have no time for you. They have no time for your kind. Satan worshippers, demonic people. They have no time for you and to debate you. I am the littlest one from the ocean of knowledge. I am enough to debate you. Oh man, ask me what you want. I am here and I am enough for you and multiples of you. So Mawlana Shaykh is saying that the al-amr, the the affair or the fact of the matter does not depend on the size of the person. The matter does not depend on the age of the person. That not if somebody is famous, mashallah, he can debate, and if somebody is not famous, they cannot debate. Not if somebody is old, then we can listen to him, and if somebody is small, we don't listen to him. Grand Sheikh is saying it's not by that, rather it's by his haqiqah. Rather it's by the reality that that person is carrying. Imam Shafi'i, even if he was 9 years old, but his reality covers the world. His strength covers the world. So this man, he became scared. Mawlana Shaykh is saying that he was frightened, and when somebody is frightened, they become unstable. They don't know how to act anymore. So he said, "Oh son, إذا الله موجود أرني حتى أصدق." That was his question. If Allah is existing, if God is existing, show me so I can believe. This is the sickness of so many of us humans. Alhamdulillah, we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but so many human beings, they say, show us so we can believe. So this man, this one that denies the existence of the Lord and rather is into satanic rituals, he is saying that, show me God. So he said, Imam Shafi'i said, MashaAllah, what a question you have. Your question is nothing but pure ignorance. He said, bring me a bucket of milk. So Imam Shafi'i asked for a bucket of milk. They went and brought a bucket of milk. So now a little boy is debating this man that does not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, "Oh blind one, look into the milk. What do you see?" He says, "I see milk." He said, "Okay, do you see cheese in it? Do you see butter in it?" The man said, "Yes, I see." He says, "Show me the butter and the cheese in the milk." The man said, "Well, first you have to boil the milk, then you get the cream, then you can make the butter. Then you take the milk and pour some yeast or some whatever you put to make the cheese." He says, "Do you see them in the milk?" The man said, "No." He said, "How do you believe that this milk, there's cheese and butter in this milk and you don't see it?" He said, "What we need to do all of this." He said, "Oh, stupidest of the stupidest ones. For cheese and butter, you need to do some process, some methods. There's a methodology. For the Lord of heavens and earth, you don't need to do any process or any service, or there's no methodology for Him to show Himself to you. You want your Lord to appear to you without any process? Oh, fool one." He said, "Look at the milk." Mawlana Shaykh is saying that Imam Shafi'i now he's using his spiritual powers. He says, "Look at the milk." The man looked at the milk. Imam Shafi'i made butter come out of the milk, made cheese come out of the milk.
Allah.
He brought the butter, the yogurt, and the cheese all separate. And Grand Sheikh is saying when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses a servant, He will give him miraculous powers. Don't say, "How did He do it?" Quran Kareem is full of miraculous powers that Anbiya Allah have done or had. So Imam Shafi'i brought out the yogurt, brought out the cheese, brought out the butter, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala authorized him and helped him do that. He said, helped him do that without any methodology, without any process. That means if awliya Allah want to do something, they don't need the process. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, "Be," it will be. You don't need to go through the process. Some awliya Allah, they can appear in the West. They don't have to call the travel agent, get a ticket, get their passports, go through security, get on the plane. No, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, they're there. All they need is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enable them to move without any due process. So Imam Shafi'i was able to do that without any process. He said, look, you represent falsehood. Make it. Let me see how you can do it. But if you want to do it, then follow me. I will show you how to do it. So he called him to Islam. He says, you want to do what I have done? Follow me, and you will be able to do what I have done. So this man, as Mawlana Shaykh is saying, he forgot what he was claiming. In his heart did not remain any trace of that. And he said to Imam Shafi'i, he said, okay, what is your Lord up to at this moment? Okay, you say there's a Lord. What is he up to in this very moment? He was sitting on a chair, that big guy, and Imam Shafi'i was standing on the ground. He said, okay, come down here and I'll tell you what he is up to now. I will tell you. So the man, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, is saying that he stood up from his chair, he came down from his chair and came next to Imam Shafi'i. Imam Shafi'i went up to the chair and he said, Ya Rajul, oh man, know that my Lord and you, Lord, at this moment has put you down and has put me up. He put you down and has put me up there in your station. This is what is my Lord up to now. That battle comes down, haqq, truth goes up. So Grand Sheikh is saying, all the others that were not Muslim at that time, when they saw these miracles and these words of wisdom from Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah, all of them, they accepted his way and they followed him. Now this is a story, but there's always, what Mawlana says, and as an outward story, there's always an inner path. In the stories that are in the outside world, there is a way for them into your world, into your inner world. It fits inside of you, inside of your existence. What Mawlana Shaykh Nazim has shown, and what I understood from him, that the one that represents Satan, this one that came out and was representing Satan and not accepting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the one inside of you that represents Satan. Who's the one inside of you that represents Satan? Ego and nafs, the bad ego. The bad ego represents Satan and is partners with Satan to drag you to disobedience. It calls you to deny the Lord. It calls you to not accept His orders. It calls you to do whatever you like. There's no God. Who calls that inside of you? How many times it happens to us that something inside of you calls you, say, deny the Lord and do as you please. This is the one that works with shaitan. This is the ego that's inside of us. So this man that came out in the outside world also is a man that comes out in your inside world, that calls you to be partners with shaitan, to deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mawlana's teachings is not only stories, they're hidden meanings. The Sultan that was in that land at that time, he was hurting. And he was asking his Lord to send him somebody to beat this bad ego. Who is the Sultan inside of you? It is the Ruh. Ar-Ruh, the pure one, your soul. Your soul makes munajat. It makes prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh my Lord, save me from eternal damnation. How? By sending somebody that will stop this thing inside of me that calls me to deny the Lord and do as I want. So your soul, which is the Sultan on your body, it is the Sultan of your existence, asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for somebody to bring that representative of Satan down. That Imam is your heart. Imam al-Shafi'i in the outside world But in your inside world, that represents your heart. The heart is what? Is the place of faith. Imam Shafi'i was representing Iman. Imam Shafi'i was representing faith in the outside world in this story. He was the one that was full of faith, trying to convince the one that was void of faith. So your heart is what contains the faith in your existence. And your heart is the one that calls all of your existence, and especially that ego, that satanic representative, it calls it to believe in the Lord. Your heart. Surah Yasin. Sahibu Yasin. Rasulullah has talked about the one, it is mentioned in Yasin. Your heart that calls you to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and accept the messengers. وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ يَسْعَى قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ. From the end of the city, a man came and he's saying to his people, follow the messengers. That is the love that is inside each one of us. The love to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That love calls you to them. Leave these ones that are fighting against you. Take the ones, come to the ones that love you. So the heart is the vessel, is the container of Iman. So your heart is the one that debates your ego. Don't you have that struggle inside of you? Your ego wants to enter a bar. Your heart says no. Your ego says don't believe, let's have fun in there. Your heart saying no, I believe. There is eternity, there's some questioning later on. Your ego says, no, please yourself now. It's very quick. Look. Your heart says, no, I will please myself later. Don't you have that struggle inside of you? So Imam Shafi'i is representing the faith, the Iman, which is your heart. And that diabolical man that is going outside and saying that there's no God is your ego that says, I am God. Follow me, I am partners with Shaitan. We'll show you good time. And we'll show you thousands of ways. If you cannot do one, there's a second. If you cannot do a second, there's a third. Comes with billions of ideas. So be careful. Debate that one. So how do you debate that one? You tell that one that you want power, you want miracles, follow me. I'll show you how to become powerful and have miracles. So that's the bait that you give your ego. If you are a saint, you will fly. And the ego will say, oh, I like that. If you are a saint, you will have this, you will have that. And the ego likes that. So it's a bait in a way. Mawlana is here. Okay, so Mawlana is here. So we'll finish inshallah.
Muhammad You spent half a day of your time on this. I hope that God will give you ever life, instead of to replace it, to represent this 1 week or 2 weeks. This dunya is he dedicated his life to that, and the girls were already to God. They spend their life in the way of Allah. Now we know music is important for people, young people, but when they grow up, they become to receive spiritual music.
Allah.
This music would go rejuvenating itself. From Adam alayhi salam till today, that music would go and will be replaced by a spiritual music. So keep your work, your good work that you have done in your life. I think it's time for a prayer. I make dua, blessing. Inshallah, Allah will accept. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا واهدنا إلى الحق وإلى طريق مستقيم وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين وانصرنا على أعدائنا الأربعة نفس دنيا هوى شيطان. اللهم ثبتنا على الإيمان، اللهم ثبتنا عند حبيبك المصطفى عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. اللهم كن لنا ولا تكن علينا، اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم اجعل أول لقائنا هذا صلاحا وأوسطه فلاحا وآخره نجاحا. اللهم اجعل أوله رحمة وأوسطه نعمة وآخره تكريمة ومغفرة. الحمد لله الذي تواضع كل شيء لعظمته وذل كل شيء لعزته وخضع كل شيء لملكه واستسلم كل شيء لقدرته. والحمد لله الذي سكن كل شيء لهيبته وأظهر كل شيء بحكمته وتصغر كل شيء لكبريائه. اللهم ايقظنا في أحب الساعة إليك يا ودود يا ذا العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد. هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تقديم. والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ. اللهم كن لنا ولا تكن علينا، اللهم اختم بالصالحات أعمالنا يا منقذ الغرق يا منجي الهلك يا سائر كل رجوع. ربنا آمنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين. اللهم ثبتنا على دينك، اللهم ثبتنا عند رسولك المصطفى، اللهم ثبتنا عند أحبابك. اللهم كن لنا ولا تكن علينا، اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الغافرين. وأنت يا ربي يا الله الغفور الرحيم، وأنت يا ربي يا الله صاحب المرحمة. فاعطي حبيبك المصطفى هذه المرحمة حتى يشفع لنا بدعاء يشفعه يوم القيامة. إنك على كل شيء قدير وبالإجابة جدير. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. ربنا تقبل منا بحرمة الحبيب وبحرمة الفاتحة. Good work. are doing good work, and more, two of them, inshallah, they will be finding the truth soon. Because everything behind it, there is a truth. You have a mirror. Behind the mirror, there is a mirror. Behind that mirror, there is another mirror. And infinite number of mirrors. So you pass one, the second one comes. You pass second one, the third one comes. You pass the third one, fourth comes. And like that, these are the characters, our characters and behaviors. If we take if you take a mirror and punch it, then nothing will appear there anymore. Means the bad behaviors are gone. By punching your bad behavior, you come to a good behavior. And this is a mirror of yourself. Mirror of yourself. Teach us how much we have achieved. Bring a mirror and break it. What you will see, a broken piece of junk. Put the mirror together, you will find a piece of diamond in it. So try to get the diamond, and don't with your music, but don't do your work without approaching Allah and His Prophet and His awliya. There are two types of music. There is a music that calls for shaitan. There is a music that calls for everlasting life. So we choose the one that with everlasting life. Don't choose the one that is with shaitan. Today I was passing by in the house. There was a young man there, and he was, and in the camera it shows a child. The next camera is the same, but it's broken, so he cannot see anything. So he was hitting his mother. He wants to get that piece of junk that is now not junk anymore. It is a piece of art. So let us be all a piece of light, a piece of this universe. That universe also is going sporadically, and it's not going to stay. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you and bring happiness into your life. Inshallah. ومن الله التوفيق لكلمة الفاتحة. Same arranged the conference, but as if I didn't see that picture. And it was Mawlana Shaykh Hisham picture. The man took it from his book, and he was coming to Shaykh Hisham to show him, and it is Mawlana's picture. Mawlana brought that example of mirrors. So be with the mirror, the good mirrors, and don't follow the bad mirrors. The bad mirrors. Anyone wants to play Maghrib can go downstairs.
Right, please make it easy for Mawlana to pass through, please. So with Mawlana's dua, we're closing the program. So inshallah, it's time for Maghrib. Anybody lose these keys? Second times. I think it's a box solve.
Make it easy.
Cheers, man.